Document your life. There are a plethora of videos online telling you that you should document your life. Some people say you should document your life because it's a creative pursuit. Starting a YouTube, growing your Instagram is a potential side hustle. When you document your life, there are endless opportunities for content creation. And content creation leads to new opportunities, both financial, socially. Some people say you should document your life as a way to tell your story. You get to show up online, authentically revealing things about yourself, and people connect with that, and you create an online community. Some people say that you should document yourself as a way to track your journey or your progress. Maybe you're trying to lose weight, maybe you're taking on a new skill. Whatever it is, people can relate to the idea of being a beginner and love to watch someone grow and learn. And additionally, it's a way to look back and see how far you've grown. It's a way to inspire others. While those are all great reasons, and many of them are the reasons why I too started my YouTube channel, I want to pose the question, what if documenting your life has a spiritual benefit? What if by documenting your life, you are more likely to be obedient to the Lord? These are the questions that we're going to explore in today's video. What does it even mean to document your life? To document simply means to record something, whether it be in electronic, written, photographic form. And the purpose of a document is to serve as an official record, to provide evidence, to record something. When I say to document your life, I am specifically talking about the act of recording or making a record of the things that God is doing in your life. Specifically, we want to have the lens of what God is doing, things that are revealing his character, the spiritual lessons that you're learning. You look back on your life, you're able to see the fingerprints of God. You're able to see his hand and how he moved and transformed you. So now let's talk about why we should document our lives. To put it succinctly, we should document our lives as believers because it will help us remember the goodness of God. It helps us remember the character of God. It helps us to remind us of the things that he has done and the things that he will do. I think one of the best ways to illustrate the importance of why remembering God is important is by looking at what happens when we forget the goodness of God. So, a variety of things happen when we forget who God is, his character. We can become disobedient. We can become ungrateful. We can become self reliant. We can lose perspective. We can become prideful. One of the best ways that this is illustrated in the Bible is through the story of the Israelites. We all know the story. Through Moses, God delivers the people of Israel from bondage in Egypt, where they were serving as slaves for 400 years. And so in the story of Exodus, God parts the Red Sea. They cross on dry ground and are delivered from 400 years of bondage. And so, chapter 14, they're freed from bondage of 400 years. And then, chapter 15, 16, and 17, we see three incidences of the children of Israel in need of something, and they have an attitude of discontentment, they have an attitude of ungratefulness. And how much more are we like the children of Israel when God has just done this an amazing thing and so quickly we forget? I really want to emphasize that it's not really that we forget is the problem. It's more so the fact that if we choose not to call into remembrance those things, the human mind can only remember so much anyways. It's quite natural for us to forget certain things. Our minds have to forget certain things, the unimportant things. But the things that are important, there are processes in our mind that help us recall that information. So it's not so much that the Israels forgot, it's more so that they didn't remind themselves of what God has done. Psalm 77 is a really good example of what it looks like when we remember who God is. So, Psalm 77, I'm going to read a couple of verses from it. I thought about the former days, the years of long ago. I remembered my songs in the night. My heart mused and my spirit inquired. Will the Lord reject forever? Will he never show his favor again? Has his unfailing love vanished forever? Has his promise failed for all time? Has God forgotten to be merciful? Has he in anger withheld his compassion? Then I thought, to this I will appeal, the years of the right hand of the Most High. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will meditate on all your works and consider all your mighty deeds. Your ways, O God, are holy. What God is so great as our God? You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the peoples. I don't know if you've ever been in situations or been going through a trial or tribulation where the situation is so overwhelming. You are so in so much distress that you can't even speak. It's hard to even go to prayer and tell God what you need. You are so distressed. It can be so hard to focus on anything else. We can't even see beyond our circumstance. And when we're in those situations, we start to question, will the Lord reject forever? Will he never show his favor again? Has his unfailing love vanished forever? And he continues on asking questions, things that come up in our mind when we are going through trials and tribulations. Sometimes we feel forgotten. And so we question whether God sees us. Do you hear me, God? This is the turning point. Verse 10, he says, then I thought, to this I will appeal, the years of the right hand of the Most High. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will meditate on all your works and consider all your mighty deeds. And that right there is what changes the game. He began to question the character of God, but then he says, to this I will appeal. And he says, I will remember the deeds of the Lord. And then from there, verse 13, he says, your ways, O God, are holy. What God is so great as our God? Yes. So as we remember who we serve. Okay. We remember his character. Done it before, he'll do it again. When we can call into remembrance the things that God has done, we get in the right heart posture. We get the right perspective. Psalm 77 is a great example of what happens when we remember the goodness of God. When we remember the goodness of God, we are able to encourage ourselves. We are able to, again, get in the right orientation. God is above all. It's also not just for us to remember, it's for our friend when they're suffering through something and we can be of comfort to them because we can recall on the ways that God has comforted us. Another benefit of remembering the goodness of God, we also get to share that knowledge with our children or future generations of what God has done. And so that inspires others to either strengthen their faith or to join the faith. Another thing that's important to note is that the Holy Spirit does help us to recall things in remembrance, but we can take it upon ourselves to document our journey. That's us being an active participant in our own spiritual walk when we write down something that God has done. So now that we've talked about why we should document our lives, let's talk about how we can document our lives. Documenting your life can be done in a variety of different ways. My personal favorite is just pen and paper, or journaling. So, writing down your prayers or writing, again, specific incidences where you feel like you really saw the hand of God. And also take pictures. So pictures can be, you graduated and you wouldn't have made it through those 4 years of college without God. Or it could be you taking a photograph of a flower because you feel like through that flower, God just spoke a word to you. Audio, I know some people like to record like voice memos. You can do that as well. You can also record video, such as what I'm doing now. I know some people like to do video diaries. That I've seen this in a couple of different variations, a blessings box or a blessing jar. I know at home we had like a blessings box. On little cards, we would write things that we were grateful for and put them in the box throughout the year. And then at the end of the year, we would talk about it. And it was just an opportunity to like testify again about the goodness of God, about his grace, his mercy. Moving into this final section of the video, when we're thinking about documenting our life, there's a couple of things that I would encourage you to consider. To choose a primary method of documenting, just because, again, when you want to recall into remembrance some of these things, you want a central location where you can find that information. Document in a way that's convenient for you, in a way that you feel like you can be consistent in. Public or private, I would say it doesn't have to be either or, but I would say just have discernment about what's going in the public sphere and what's going in private. You should document the good and the bad. It's easy to romanticize the past when we only document the good. And I think it's part of human nature to want to remember good things, to really appreciate the good. A lot of times the bad helps us do that. So, depending on how you're choosing to document your life, that can feel a little unnatural, because it's a little unnatural to maybe pick up the camera when you're crying or to take a picture or record a video. However, you choose to document the bad times, I would just encourage you to find a way to do it, because again, the good and the bad provides the full picture. And again, none of this has to be public. You're documenting your life for you. Okay, if you've made it to this part in the video, I am so grateful. Thank you for staying tuned. I'd love to hear how you document your journey, if you are documenting your spiritual walk and the ways in which God is moving. I would love to hear from you how you're doing it. If you're not, but feel inspired to do so, I would love to hear how you plan on doing it. If you like this video, I would greatly appreciate you liking it, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.